Take a seat.
Our response is as follows to the findings of this survey. First of all, I have to say that SMEs have been responding very encouragingly to the launch of surveys between SNEF and Spring to help strengthen their HR capabilities. So SMEs are very keen, to develop in this area. And what I have here is a brochure about this help that we are giving to SMEs, and in particular, the HR capability package, which comprises 6 modules, which is available to SMEs for free downloads from our website. Since its launch in November, there has been 7,000 downloads, about 1,000 per module. Okay? Unfortunately, we are not able to track whether these are SMEs or individuals, downloading, but definitely will improve the capture of that data.
Sorry, can you repeat the number of 6,000?
7,000 downloads since November, and there are 6 modules, so it's roughly about 1,000 per module, which indicates strong interest, because this is an SME capability package, so we have to assume that it's the SMEs downloading. Because, as I said, it's focused on SMEs, then we can assume that a significant number are in fact SMEs. So this number indicates there's a very strong interest among SMEs in strengthening their HR capability. Yeah, and on top of that, of course, if they need further help with developing their HR capability, they can always come to other help services that we offer, such as training them to translate those modules into practice. Now, some of the modules relate to the findings of this survey, like recruitment and selection, compensation and benefits, career development. But I have to say that these modules are not specifically linked to branding themselves as employers of choice. Yeah? These are just, generic capabilities, that you develop. So I think a very important point has come out of this finding is that, we don't want just SMEs should not just develop a recruitment capability, capability to have career management, to train and develop, but rather to find a way, as a result of this study, to link the two together, so that they don't develop this capacity in isolation. Yeah, they could work with us to see how recruitment can be linked to an exercise to position the SME as an employer of choice as well. So it's not just finding numbers, but to link the two together. And I think this is a good development from this finding, where two independent areas can now be linked together so as to help SMEs attract and retain talent, especially graduate manpower. As you know, the focus of this was on graduate and professional manpower. Yeah, so I think there is some follow-up there for us, I would say, to help SMEs. Now, the other point I will ask Wilson to take it further is that, based on the findings of this survey, we believe that we can launch a specialized workshop to help the SMEs translate some of these findings into practice. Okay, because Strategy.com has some experience in this area, working with larger companies and perhaps also some SMEs. So maybe I can turn to Wilson and say, how does he see the practicability of running a workshop, to translate these findings into practice, for SMEs. So maybe Wilson, you can add to this suggestion.
Thank you, John. Yeah. I think this is very relevant for SMEs, especially a lot of our SMEs today. Quite a lot of them are still family-driven businesses. Second generation members of the family, they're taking over the business. They're trying to modernize the organization. This transformation process, I think, will be very meaningful for SMEs. So we are now and have completed to agree with SNEF to do 2 programs from now to the end of the year for SME employers. The findings of this study will be, we will first introduce the concept of employer branding to them, number one. Number two, we will then operationalize the findings of this study into a technical workshop and learning takeaways for them.
Usually for men,
in the entire chain from recruitment all the way to retention, and how the findings can help them in terms of developing, number one, a better workplace, number two, finding and attracting the right kind of talent that they want, scoping out the attributes of the job vis-a-vis the attributes of the talent that they're looking for instance, and putting this dynamic up front at the interview process right through to retention, a process of appreciating, recognizing, providing autonomy, which were salient findings of the study, and how this can be administered to existing people in the organization. This will be a one full day workshop for SME owners. We hope this will help them. After all, the study was originally created and commissioned to bring benefit to the SME owner.
Okay, we are now ready to answer any queries you may have. Can you tell us who? Yeah, because I know my mind is still 8 hours behind. Yeah, business times. Yes, you have the list.
Introduction as well as technical workshop.
When? You're working on it.
Kirsten and I have spoken on this extensively. We are working towards the third week of April. We've not finalized a date yet. We're still working out some minor details. But we have agreed that it will be at some time on the third week of April.
Next month, we say.
And one more towards the close of the third quarter of this year.
But of course, depending on response, I'm quite sure Strategy.com will be prepared to run more workshops. Yeah? Yeah.
I mean, if the response is overwhelming, we will definitely increase the regularity of the workshops.
I have a question. I'm Lisa from Human Resources Magazine. There have been a couple of surveys previously by other recruitment companies looking at employers of choice in Singapore. And a lot of companies have come out, your usual SIA, Credit Suisse, or your big banks.
Yeah.
Do you think that it's because these banks are in the market, as consumers we use SIA,
yes.
The big banks, therefore these banks have a prominence and they are able to leverage themselves as an employer of choice. Whereas for say other people in the background, say, like B2B companies that we don't usually know about, that these SMEs are therefore at a disadvantage when it comes to employer branding.
I think there's no running away from what is defined as visually renowned brands versus the ones that are less well known. But let's look at the dynamics of how larger organizations brand themselves vis-a-vis smaller companies, SME in particular. To the larger organizations, to the multinational organizations, size always matters. Diversity is always an attraction point. The ability to work from various departments or various places globally has always been a point of attraction. This does not directly equate into a disadvantage for smaller companies. In fact, I think they are mutually exclusive issues. Smaller companies, from our experience, tend to focus on their unique attributes to build their brand. Now, I'll give you some examples of what these unique attributes are. Number one, it could be flexibility, the ability, higher levels of empowerment and autonomy and space. The reporting process is a lot quicker. You get to the top and to the people that decide on organizational matters faster. There's accessibility. Therefore, getting things done and therefore getting recognized for the things that is being done is a unique advantage to smaller companies. Specialization is another. Smaller companies tend to focus on attributes that, because they are smaller, they are more specialized, they allow for higher career progression in a particular specialized field, for example. So these are unique attributes to smaller companies, and some of our small and medium enterprises have successfully done it. And they've successfully used some of these attributes and gone out, and they were able to find the kind of talent that they want to find.
Desmond Wong from Channel News here. I'm looking at the respondents. We've got MBA students, undergraduates, now last year, and people from a variety of white-collar professions. There seems, so what I'm trying to divide here is that there seems to be a sort of a bias towards certain types of areas. I mean, MBAs certainly work only, they qualify you for a particular field. Same for research, that sort of thing. Is there any coverage for people in like manufacturing, engineering, that sort of thing? Because SME is coming all shapes and forms, so we seem to have only people who want to join a white-collar thing. But was there a response from the other side?
If you look at the 5 functional groups in the working professionals, I think there was a quality manager, HR, finance, accounting, quality management, which is a production operation related profession, information technology. These are functional professions that cut across all organizations. There was no pre-qualification on what kind of organizations they were. So they could be working in manufacturing production companies. They could be working in trading companies. They could be in service companies. So there was no pre-qualification. And as such, there are quite a number of them that have worked for manufacturing, production, construction, engineering companies. The MBA cluster of students, they were pre-qualified to have some years of working experience. They too come from a diversity of background for the number of years that they've served before embarking on their master's degree. Alvin, yes.
What practical steps can SMEs take in light of these findings, despite the current recession?
The quick thing to do for SME owners is this. Identify your unique attributes that would differentiate you from other employers, particularly competitors. Find these unique attributes and communicate them consistently, contextually and more specific to building an employer brand and to be an employer of choice. Communicate it consistently right from interview, right from advertisement of trying to find, right through to establishing the talent, right through to retention. Communicate it consistently. And you can do it a variety of ways. Number one, through your corporate website, because potential talent tend to research on companies that they want to work for. So the best place to go for and to go to is the company's website. So that must come through. In the various, through the various media, if they are a little bit more savvy, through their PR companies, through their job advertisements. The CEOs go out from time to time when they meet the media. They should share about the unique attributes of their organization. Any kind of platform that allows them to reach potential talent should be seized, and these unique attributes should be communicated consistently.
Take a seat.